Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of Journey of an Average Gamer. This is Ineno, commentating on my own match again. This is about the 15th match I've played in solo. I'm currently still ranked as a Platinum League, and I'll be fighting against the Diamond League player, Terran. So this map, 1v1, very straightforward map, very easy to protect natural, as well as a straight line towards the opponent's base. So I'll be doing a very standard build once again, a 9 pylon and a 12 gate, as well as my opponent will be doing a very similar build. So what I was particularly worried about when it started opening up this match was a Reaper harass. This is something very difficult for Protoss players to defend against a very well thought out Reaper harass, especially if we do have a barrack that is proxy barrack. So I was a little worried about that. So once I built my gateway at 12, I will be sending my probe out to scout the enemy base. So I see this SCV on the way, so I was a little worried if I see any barracks nearby. Anyhow, I have this SCV attacking my pylon, so I'll be sending out a probe to attack it. As you can tell, at this point, I will be retreating my probe once the shield runs out, and will be sending another probe out, so I do not lose any health on any of my probes. So I scout the Terran base, and I do see a refinery, but I do not see any tech lab on the barracks, so I'm not particularly worried about the Reaper harass anymore. Now switch back to the thought of countering Marauders, since I will be building a Stalker heavy build. At this point, I will be building a Assimilator and a Cybernetics core, as well as an additional pylon and Assimilator. So I'm going a somewhat gas heavy build. And a bad habit here, I only have one probe mining off the Assimilator. I did not notice till later, so now I have 3 going. And my opponent is building a orbital command, is about done, as well as a second refinery. And he is surprisingly not building a tech lab whatsoever, and just going straight to Marines. So very unusual for a Terran against a Protoss. Because usually you see Marauders with concussive grenades researched right off the bat in order to counter any Stalkers, because Marines are relatively weak. So now he lifts up his command center, barrack, after 4 Marines, and will be building a tech lab. And he's building a factory, so he's going a one barrack, one factory build. Seems to be very popular nowadays to go 1 barrack, 1 factory, then 1 starport. So I have my second gateway up. I have not built a single zealot yet, going straight to Stalkers, and we'll be building a Twilight Cancel after 2 gates. And the reason for this is I'll be building. I wanted some. Actually, I really wasn't thinking. It's either getting Blink to close in with the close in distance if he has tanks, as well as getting charge lots in case I see a Marauder heavy build. So I still have not finished researching warp gates, so I'll be building the traditional way through time. And as Terran here has one Marauder and 1 tank coming out, and he is not researching Siege Tech Lab yet, and he's building a second barrack. So I'm building pylons near the edges of the base in case I see a medevac drops. I have not scouted in because he has the ramp blocked off. So, should have came that earlier, but at this point I have a very good work lead over him, but I am pretty behind on army. He has quite a large army than I do. And here I have control of the Zelnaga Tower, but I do not have sight of this attack incoming. I do only have 4 Stalkers at this point, but building 2 additional gateways and a Templar archive. I'll be making some High Templars from here on. But not too good of an idea considering without an expansion my gas is very limited. So anyways, I have this probe scouting for any expansions. I will be building proxy pylons, and I guess his siege tech has been researched, and once he gains sight he will be able to attack. So I'll be retreating back and forth right here. Pretty even army right now, and I do lose a zealot unfortunately, but I do gain sight of the tank and will be taking it down. Very bad tank position in my opinion. So I'll be warping in. I do lose a stalker, but I'll be warping in zealots right in his face. So unfortunately, should have microed that unit. Lost 1 stalker that was totally unnecessary. So I scout for an expansion, and since I blocked off his first push and I do have an abundance of mineral, I will be expanding very soon. And you see this probe, and as you see, I will be expanding. So my tendency is to expand after every strike, especially if I see a siege tank that early with siege tech. I'm assuming he does not have that many units or production buildings, and I am right. He only has 2 barracks and a factory running right now. He does have a reactor on one of his barracks to produce mass marines, but marines really not going to do much against zealots. So I am doing more of a zealot heavy build now because of the High Templar eating a lot of gas out of my income. And I built another proxy pylon over here on these 2 expansions. So if I see him taking any of these 2 expansions, I will be able to retaliate very fast. So very bio-heavy army and 1 siege tank defending. He's building more siege tanks and now a starport, and a command center. So he is expanding as well, but I believe my Nexus will be up and running. Oh, about the same time he will be having his command center set. So at this point, unit production wise, I do have a commanding lead over not commanding lead, but we're about the same because of the mule. I am transferring a lot of my probes over, so my income will drop a little, but on the long run I will be in a lot better position. So I'll be building a robotics factory just in case I see any banshees coming out. So Terran here is throwing out a medevac with 4 marauders, and he has checked one from one of my expansions. And I'm assuming he sees this extra expansion that I have here. Not extra, but my expansion here. And he will be dropping his marauders. I do lose 3 probes, but I do shoo him away. Now that I think of it, I should have fed back the medevac, but considering he only has 85 energy, it would not have done much damage. So his expansion is up. He's changing his command center to orbital command, and he's building 2 refineries. So I'm guessing he's going a very gas-heavy build. He does have a decent amount of tanks up, and as well as bio. So let's see Army tab. He has quite a larger force than I do, and I only do have, how many gateways do I have? I only have 4 gateways up, and I am not building any immortals off my robotics facility. I'm doing this purely for observers. So I have researched charge lots, and since seeing the medevac, I was afraid of drops and built 3 cannons right along my working lines, and I did build 2 other cannons on my expansion working line. This is for good measure. It will buy me some time for my probes to run away in case I get attacked.